Let's begin today's Vanguard news with the confirmation that the English game is indeed getting a Vyrgilla deck set as DZSS04, along with the 54 card deck, most of which will have abilities printed on them. Thank Messiah. One of the new cards will be hollow, so those players wanting to fully bling out their deck will have a reason to keep buying more. The deck set will also contain an energy generator and a promo pack that will contain one of 3 Dragon Empire effect triggers, and a new Regalis piece order which will obviously be Union the Skies to give players an actual reason to buy the product. Now if only Bushiroad can actually officially release the Skyride manga, then maybe players won't be wondering who the hell even uses this deck. With the second season of Vanguard Divine's actually doing a good job of exciting players for new cards. Here are the Zorga support and new Alden cards in DZBT04. Ruined Armor Gutler, while on rear guard or the Guardian Circle, gets 5k power and shields if you have a Zorga Vanguard with a divine skill. I doubt this will replace Rogue Headhunter anytime soon. See Scissors of Deep Hades once per turn while on rear guard, lets you retire 2 of your other rear guards if you have a grade 3 or higher Zorga Vanguard to add a normal order card from your drop zone. No more will players rely on Seabreeze Abduction to hit just to get back an order. The only downside is they have to make sure their roaming Prison Dragon and Impending Karma stay on their field from the previous turn as cost fodder. Knight of Heavenly Expression Admis is your typical D-series starter that didn't need a new version since he wasn't replaced by a waifu card anyway. Knight of Heavenly Suf Tranquilia when ridden over by Everlasting Sky Knight Saudio lets you add up to 1 grade 2 or higher card from the top 5 cards of your deck. You charge 2 energy instead if you did not add a card with this ability. The skill is the polar opposite compared to the old Tranquilia, but in a good way. But the old one seems better as getting a free grade 1 unit on the field is a better consolation than getting 2 energy. Plus the old Tranquilia can be used in other decks unlike this new one that requires a specific ride line. Everlasting Sky Knight Saudius when ridden over by a grade 3 Alden card lets you pay 1 Soul Blast to call up to 1 grade 3 card or lower from the top 5 cards of your deck. The old Saudius is better since he also had a consolation effect, unlike this card where you might be forced to call a trigger or sentinel, which might not be a bad thing because Destined One of Protection Alden while on Vanguard makes you return a unit that was on a rear guard circle to your hand when a card would be called by this unit's ability to that rear guard circle. While on Vanguard, you can pay 1 counter blast when he attacks to draw a card then call up to 1 card from hand to rear guard. That unit cannot be retired by your opponent's card abilities until the end of their turn, and that unit gets 10k power. And once per match, you can pay 1 Soul Blast to call up to 2 cards from the top 7 cards of your deck, and cannot be retired by your opponent's card abilities until the end of their turn. Why does this card feel like it was designed to hard counter Vygilla and Welstra instead of Zorga? Jinky got the wrong opponent yet still won. The divine skill is just Ezel's skill, but on the main phase, which makes it worse. The only saving grace of this card is the fact that you can recycle cards that you called over by his skill. Wafting Owl while on rear guard or the Guardian Circle gets 5k power and shields if you have a Alden Vanguard with a divine skill. Guess everyone is getting these grade 1 cycle cards as the sets filler may have forgotten if the previous decks got these last week. Knight of Skyflow's Gelment, when he intercepts, while you have a grade 3 or higher Alden Vanguard, gets 20k shields. This would have been a nice tech, if not for Bushiroad introducing anti-hostage cycle cards last week. Determine with the Blade of Protection is a normal order card that can only be played if you have a Alden Vanguard with a divine skill. That gives your Vanguard an auto ability that lets you pay 1 counter blast when it attacks to call up to 1 card in hand to rear guard. This sort of confirms that Alden's previous supports are useless, even the ones in DZBT01, as they can no longer let you perform 5 attacks unless you use these new supports. Heavenly Defense Dragon Wedge Fluence Dragon while on rear guard gets 5k power during the battle it boosted if you have a grade 3 or higher Alden Vanguard. And while on rear guard, you soul charge 1 card and this unit gets 2k power when it boosts a grade 3 or higher Alden Vanguard. The obligatory divine unit 15k booster cycle card. Why the hell does this have mandatory soul charge when you can only use your divine skill once? Would have been better it also countercharges like Aerial Sage. Heavenly Blade of Liaison Regional when placed on rear guard lets you pay 4 energy to draw a card. And while on rear guard, give a unit placed on top of her by your grade 3 or higher Alden Vanguard's ability 10k power. Then you can pay 1 Soul Blast if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher to stand one of your rear guards. I'm getting the premium Dual Knight vibes from this card both in ability and artwork. Guess we know why Wedge fluents Dragon Soul charges, but it's still weird it's tied more to this unit than to Alden himself. And her first skill alone would make me want to tech her in various decks like in Ezel or Liel. Here's Alden's new secret rare which isn't really that special. Personally I would have liked to see the SR version instead. Finally, if you like how absurd prices of the hot stamped character energy cards in Easy SS01, then you're going to love the hot stamped character energy cards in Easy BT04. Nothing like forcing the use of official energy cards in order to create artificial hype for the secondary market because horny people. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if the old Alden deck is better than this new one.